Ms. Tomasini, along with Mr. Bernal and Ashley Williams, has been described as creating a cocoon around the president. Do you agree with that?
No.
Do you believe they were among President Biden's most trusted advisors?
I can speak less to Ashley because she really wasn't in an Oval Office role when I was chief of staff, or at least not for the vast majority of the time. I don't know if she overlapped a little bit. Annie was a very close advisor. Who was the other person?
Mr. Bernal.
Close advisor.
Recognizing that the president had a bad debate, what did you see your role as chief of staff to be with regard to the staff in the White House, and what did you think you should do with them to communicate or to resolve his bad night?
Are we talking about the senior-most team or the broader White House staff?
Well, let's start with the senior team.
To get them focused on this plan, to get him out there more, to figure out what meetings made most sense, what events made most sense, when should a press conference take place, what groups from the Hill should he interact with.
And the larger group?
To keep spirits high. It's hard to work in a White House. It's even harder when something unexpected and negative happens, which is what happened at the debate. So I'm a big believer in the responsibility of a leader is to be optimistic and to keep people on task. And communication is a big part of that.
And was there an all-staff call on July 3rd?
That sounds familiar, yes. I don't know the date, but we did all staff calls.
Is that the same group of people who would be in the larger meeting?
Much broader.
Okay.
Yeah. That meeting, the larger meeting in the Roosevelt Room, would be the deputy assistants to the president and the assistants to the president. That's 40 odd people. So that group I would have communicated with in person.
Right.
The morning after the debate and the morning after that, on a regular basis. This is more between the old executive office building and the White House, hundreds of people who are part of the executive office of the president.
And did you communicate during that call something along the lines of it was just one night?
Sounds familiar.
Did you really believe that?
Yes.
Did staff get a chance to respond on that kind of call, or are people muted?
I don't know if they're muted or not, but they're one-way calls.
Was there any pushback from anyone during that call?
As I just said, that it's a one-way call.
Oh,
so,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Was there any conversation, even that early on, we're still a few weeks away from President Biden dropping out, was there a conversation about what an open primary would look like?
Not structured conversation, were there hallway conversations? I'm sure.
Did you get a feel of how morale was in the White House?
I think people were worried, as a general. It was already a very difficult, stressful environment being in a West Wing, particularly in a re-elect year, and then the debate made that more difficult, more uncertain. More people, calling for different things, and that's a hard-working environment.
Were you communicating that to President Biden?
I don't have any specific recollection, but I'm sure it was part of my briefing time with him was just, the importance of keeping the team informed and the team focused.
It's my understanding that Congressman Adam Smith, who was the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee, told you he was going to call for President Biden to step aside around July 4th.
I do recall that.
And your response reportedly was give us a few days. Is that correct?
Probably. I have no reason to believe that wasn't my response. Because the president was working through what he was going to do. And I was trying to give him some decision space.
Did you tell President Biden about this call?
I don't have a specific recollection. Could very well have. But I don't know for certain.
And it seems reasonable, but the give us a few days comment, did you have an idea what was going to happen at the end of the few days, or was just buying time?
It felt, not just buying time, it felt like the president was nearing a decision point, and I thought it would be better than people getting out ahead of him to let the president make up his mind. I don't know how that timing ended up coinciding with the president's decision, but that was the logic.
Part of the effort to get President Biden out more in the public was an interview, I believe, that was conducted by George Stephanopoulos. Do you recall that?
I do.
Did you ever have conversations before or after the interview with Mr. Stephanopoulos about how President Biden conducted himself during that interview?
I do not recall any conversations. I do know Stephanopoulos, but I don't think we had any contact around that period of time.
Around July 12th, I believe Senator Schumer contacted you and said, as it is reported, let me see Biden or I'm going to publicly request a meeting. Did that occur?
Yes. I think we talked about that a little bit earlier, that Schumer really wanted a meeting, and we arranged for that in Rehoboth Beach.
And again, I don't have the transcript from a few hours ago, but were you at Rehoboth Beach when that occurred?
I was not.
And you got a bit of a readout, is that correct?
Schumer called me afterwards and said that he appreciated that I had arranged the time together with the president.
And this was after the caucus meeting of
Yes.
the Democrats, correct?
Yes.
Did he indicate whether President Biden had given him enough material to push back on his caucus?
I don't remember specific conversations on that front.
I believe also during that weekend there was a call between the Progressive Caucus and the president. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do. I was not on that call. I believe Steve Ricchetti was in Rehoboth and he staffed that call.
Did you get a readout though from the call?
Yes, I remember being concerned that it had not gone well.
One representative found President Biden to be, quote, very angry and, quote, personally offended. And, quote, rambling, long-winded, and at times incoherent.
I wasn't on the call, but it's clearly that person's opinion.
And I understand that. And my question is, during this time period that we're talking about, the middle of July of 2024, how was President Biden very angry or incoherent?
No, I think he was under a lot of stress and, working very hard and probably not a lot of sleep. But I don't remember it being particularly consistent with what you just asked about.